What's up, Buttercup? Welcome back to my channel. Today's book tag is the Clean Slate tag. Thank you for tagging me, Kevin, and I'm pretty sure Stuart as well. I've been having some problems keeping up with the tags. I apologize. Shout out to Catalyst Reads for creating this tag. I have my notes down because these are kind of in depth and I wanted to have all of the questions laid out with a little bit of notes for my answers. So if I'm looking down, it's because I have notes. Before getting into this tag, quick shout out to my YouTube members, Jen, Erica, Brandy, and Stuart. Thank you so much for joining me in my fantastically, coolly chaotic world of Booktube and sometimes AuthorTube. Jumping into the first question, are there genres that you're going to read more or less this year? And I can't really think of anything along those lines, so I'm gonna say no. I just kind of go with it. It doesn't matter the genre. I don't really read like romance or erotica, but if it's a great book and it's highly recommended and I do a little research and it sounds good, I'll pick that up too. It really doesn't matter. I'm just looking for good books, no matter the genre. Number 2, are there any books you read recently that changed or challenged your philosophies or beliefs? Not that I can remember, no, but I am sure that I have a couple of nonfiction books on my TBR shelf that could possibly. I have not picked them up yet just because I'm currently reading for quite some time a nonfiction book that is huge. It's like 700 pages and I'm just not in a nonfiction mood right now. So I want to finish that before I get into other books. And I'm thinking nonfiction books because that's usually where I go to expose myself about challenging my philosophies or belief systems. Number 3, who would you recommend a newbie to watch? And I'm gonna say anyone who comments on my videos because we have a fantastic community of booktubers and I've been on Booktube for at least 8 years. Well, yeah, it's coming up 8 years. And unfortunately, I am the only one still standing, so to speak, out of the group that I rose up with. They have either abandoned their channel, deleted their channel, or they just don't do Booktube at all and they're like on Instagram or BookTok or something like that. And I'm not on those, so I can't say what they're doing. I'm kind of like a floater at this point. I've been a floater for at least 5 years. Not gonna lie. The booktubers that I came up with in 2017, they were all so lovely and welcoming, but you know, life happens. So I have gone through quite a few communities, but we're all community. Okay, I'm not getting into the weeds about semantics of those words, but yes, I think most booktubers in general move on or they delete their channel. It's not even a Booktube thing, it's that internet thing, content creator / influencer thing to be precise. I'm trying to think of booktubers that have been around longer than I have, and I think it's only 3 that I know of, obviously, but don't come at me in the comments. I'm sure there are booktubers that have been around that are still posting and having a fun time that are 8 years or older than I am. I know, but I'm talking about that I can remember. That's unfortunate. So really, anyone that comments, I love them to death. They're fantastic. So check anyone out in the comment section of any of my videos. Number 4, do you have a book bucket list? No, just a TBR. Maybe that's the same. I don't know. But I guess I want to, well, if I'm interested, I do want to finish all of the Discworld series, which is over 40 books. But, you know, if it doesn't work out, then I'm not going to finish all of them. I have no problem not finishing a series / DNFing because life is too short and there's too many other fantastic books that I obviously need to get to before I die. And it is impossible to get through every single book before one dies. That is just a fact. I know it's very sad. It makes me sad. So my TBR is ever changing. Number 5, what surprised you the most about Booktube? Honestly, that it's still popular, because for a long time, so many people were at each other's throats and viewers were getting sick of it. That's still a thing. I know it's still a thing. But I mean on Twitter, Bookstagram, Facebook, wherever, when Twitter specifically was the app to be on as a booktuber, y'all were ruining people's livelihoods, not just their channel, but there were many booktubers that went after other booktubers, doxed them, and found where these people worked and got them fired. Y'all were fucking crazy. That's what it is. Crazy. And it was happening not just once a week, it was happening every damn day. From like 2017 when I started to 2020, and I left Twitter in 2020. I also left Wattpad, which, you know, that's a whole other damn beast. And it did not help that there were a lot of Wattpadders that were on Twitter, and then also like doing Bookstagram and Booktube, AuthorTube. There's a lot of mingling that it was not good. It wasn't good. It really, really got bad, I would say 2018 to 2020, where at certain points there were multiple dramas happening every single day, with multiple people being doxxed and trying to have people fired for whatever, okay? It wasn't good. And people were damn well sick of it. So the people complaining that how Booktube is the worst now, girl, no, it's not. There's obviously problems. There were always be problems, but it was way, way worse. Like, atrociously worse for quite some time. Booktube actually chilled way out. And I would say, because a lot of people left because of all that crap, or they went to TikTok, and, you know, TikTok's a hot mess, so stay over there. Number 6, what are some of your goals? And really, I don't have that many goals. My goal overall is to connect with more viewers in general, and also to connect with readers that would be interested in my books, because yes, I'm 90% Booktube, but I'm also an indie author, and I do like 10% AuthorTube stuff. And I know that upsets the algorithm. YouTube is very persnickety when it comes down to it. And there were quite a few years where I would post like once or twice a month, so that's on me. But I think the past 3 years have been absolutely amazing ride, and I just love connecting with people and talking to them in the comments, going onto their channels for interviews to just have a fun time. And if they're interested, talk about my books and other indie writers' books. No pressure. I'm just saying that I've had a lot of people be surprised that I have published many books, which is good. So it means like I'm not throwing it in everyone's faces and shoving it down your throat. That's annoying. So I'm always amused when someone is like, oh my god, you're a writer. And so far so good. No one thinks my book sucks. That's always a positive, isn't it? I'm sure it happened eventually, but it's a great ride so far. I totally understand if you can't join my membership program, you can't buy any of my books, and or you can't get my merch, because girl, same. I'm having a hard 2025. That's putting it very nicely, but I can't really go into much because of legal reasons. Yeah, it's that. So was it the best time to put out merch and membership program and just, you know, book marketing in general? Maybe not, but also everything is temporary, and I just hope that the world settles the fuck down so we can all enjoy books, reading, literature, anything like that. Number 7, if you could meet any artist, dead or alive, who would it be? And I'm going to go with William Shakespeare and Morgan Llewellyn. Number 8, would you rather have your life written by your favorite artist or be portrayed in film by your favorite actress? And I'm going to go with the book version because that's usually way more accurate, and you all know how bad movie adaptations can be. Actually, at this point, are often bad, just always bad. It's not great. Just like follow the book or someone's life. Like, I don't understand why this is so difficult for filmmakers, but here we are. Number 9, what are some challenges you'd like to overcome regarding your channel? And I guess I'd be interested to figure out how to reach more viewers, interested in subscribing and interacting, but I don't have a narrow focus on my channel, and I never did, which doesn't please the algorithm. So I hope the algorithm gets smarter. I know a lot of booktubers that are like 6 months, a year, let's go like 2 years old, and they have surpassed me greatly in just everything, but they are very specific with their niche. So a lot of horror booktubers that just read horror, they're doing better because they've chosen horror, right? And so the algorithm likes that. Me, on the other hand, no, I just read whatever I want, and I will review whatever I want, basically. So I don't have a focus, but I do overall prefer that because I just can't read one genre, and I couldn't even just read 2 or 3 genres. I need to read all the genres that I can. Maybe not Western, but I just want to read any book that interests me. And that's also kind of how I am with writing. I don't just write one genre. So I'm sure that really doesn't quote unquote help, but it makes things interesting. How about that? I'm going to make it a positive spin, but algorithm, figure yourself out. I know you can figure it out, but maybe that whole thing isn't profitable. I don't know, but it's fine. Number 10, what advice would you give someone who's thinking of deleting their channel? Look, I can't make that decision for you. You are the only one that can decide that. But I would say if that's what you want to do, then that's absolutely your choice, because this should be fun. Though I think instead of deleting all of your hard work, because this is work, it's fun, but it's work. Like, hello. The editing, for me personally, I take more time editing because I have multiple speech impediments and I have brain farts, and also just loud neighborhood where it just takes longer to edit videos compared to other people. Editing is just blech, and that is work, but it's meaningful work. So I would say before you delete your work, private or unlist the videos, or just stop posting in general, because you can't get those videos back unless you save them somewhere. And then just think about, why am I feeling like I want to completely delete my channel? Why am I not having fun anymore? There's going to be a lot of whys, but when you figure out the whys, then you can figure out how to fix it. And if you can't seem to figure out how to fix it yourself, maybe ask other people. But I would hesitate to delete the whole thing. Like, I understand burning it to the ground sometimes must be done, but I think that's a last case situation. Like, that's plan Z. We don't want to go from A to Z really fast. We want to have as many different options to fix whatever is going on before just scorching the earth and then disappearing out of thin air. And if it's something about like numbers or getting enough interaction or subscribers or comments or anything like that, I understand Hi when we just talked about me being on for 8 years and I'm not even at 2,000 subscribers yet as of this video. I'm getting there, but I'm not even 2,000 subscribers in, and I've been on for almost a decade. So I totally understand the frustration. However, this needs to be fun. You want this to be fun and to enjoy what you're doing. And if you're trying to make Booktube as your job, I would look at other genres on YouTube, honestly, because I think there are only, 3 booktubers that have 1 million subscribers or more. Most of them have between 100,000 and like 700,000. And yes, you can live off of that, but you're gonna also have to be doing mainly advertisements and sponsors and merch and a bunch of other things. It's not going to be about the ad money. That's really hard to make a living off of, just the ads that YouTube shows. Booktube is extremely niche. The places that you can go to become like an influencer content creator on YouTube is gaming and movie reviews and music reviews and food stuff. So just keep that in mind. It obviously can be done. There are plenty of booktubers that do make a living off of their channel, but you are already choosing an extremely niche category on YouTube. So it's gonna be an uphill battle. And do you really want that? Is that truly one of your goals? Or do you think that because everyone's doing it or trying to do it, then that means you should do it with your channel? I would really think that looking at it as a hobby that could turn into something, like, that's a bonus. Yay! That is more of a solid plan versus I need to make Booktube my income. Like, it's not really gonna happen, probably. Sorry, but I'm being honest here based on just almost a decade on Booktube, and not that many people are solely doing Booktube. They're also doing other things, or like their spouse has a full-time job, or they have a full-time job, or they have a part-time job. Curtail those expectations, and really you're gonna have to be doing some soul searching. And that's perfectly fine. It's a good thing, in fact. I had to do that a couple times in the past 8 years because it does feel crappy when you don't have a lot of interaction. But there are things that you can do that's free and not too time consuming that can really help, like more professional on brand thumbnails, looking at the title trends if you're interested in that. I don't really do those, but if you want to look at title trends, look at the popular videos that are trending in Booktube spaces. What are people reviewing? How do you tag your videos? What are you doing regarding playlists, if you have a playlist or not with your videos? How do you organize your videos? Things like that. That, yes, it's time consuming in a way, but it's relatively cheap. I did a complete rebrand on my thumbnails, and that helped a lot. My thumbnails weren't good up until recently, and shout out to my friend Eloise who helped me with the thumbnails, because thumbnails are difficult. I had to get help for the thumbnails that you see now, okay? There's a lot of layers that had to be done on Canva Pro. But you don't necessarily need to pay for Canva Pro. I think GIMP is free. And you can also just use the free Canva. I wouldn't pay people to do your thumbnails because that could be a lot of money. So really, it's just what do you want to do, and also what aligns with your morals and your belief systems. Because there are people that are doing videos that they hate, but they think that they have to. You don't have to do anything. You do not control other people. All you can control is yourself and what you do and what you say. So also keep that in mind. And number 11 isn't a question, but it's about tagging people. And I tag Jen, Brandy, already overbooked, Gareth, Alan, Jim, Elaine, and Kat. Sorry if you've already been tagged and or did this tag already, but I would love to see your take on the clean slate tag. Thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day. Bye.